Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're going to be doing a cast of Scan versus Hero. This was played on the map Polypoid just a few days ago on the ladder. If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, leaving a comment, turning the bell on, all that stuff. And also check out my merch at tastelessthreads.com. We have this 20-sided Dungeons & Dragons dice, says Never Lucky. We got a lot of other cool stuff I think you guys would really enjoy. Let me change my scene here. And always feel free to join me on my Twitch channel where I cast these games live with my my community. So, we have Hero down here in the bottom left, and in the top left is Scan. So, I think most of you should be familiar with Hero, as he is a regular in the GSL, consistently a top 3 Zerg, an ASL finalist. And honestly, I just find him, like, when I watch his games, just a very intimidating player. He really seems to have a good sense of exactly how to win a game, exactly how to take down his opponent. Flash has often said that he thinks this might be the smartest player. He regards as the smartest StarCraft player that he knows, and he really likes talking to Hero a lot about the game. Scan, you might have to be a little bit more hardcore about StarCraft to be familiar with Scan, or you'd have to be a fan of Artosis' stream. Scan used to come over to Artosis' house and give him pointers on how to improve at the game. He's also been in a couple ASLs, but generally doesn't go that deep. He also streams regularly. I think you can find his Twitch stream. I'm not sure if he's active now, but he's a great player. And so, going into this game, it's Polypoid. We're in a position where both players are sharing the left side of the map. Zerg's going to go with a hatch after Overlord and a pool shortly after that. Scan has a barracks in his main. We don't know exactly what he has planned here yet. We are seeing his minerals continue to accumulate past 150, so he might just make a command center over here on the low ground. We'll have to wait and see. As far as TVZ goes, I do think that Hero has some of the strongest mid-game you could ever ask for. It's very rare that we see him ever get killed, you know, in between when the mutas are out and he's going up towards the hive tech. But Terrans, regardless, have come up with some pretty crafty ways to puncture the Zerg's position before the Zerg can really get to where they actually want to be. Scan has now made his second depot back here inside of his base. And it looks like this SCV is going to be sent out to make a command center over here. So you might have seen games where the Terran makes the depot and the barracks out here. You can do that. It is weak to 4-pool. Not that people 4-pool a lot in this game in general, but it is, you know, something to be cautious for. But instead, this is just, you know, kind of a mild way to get a base up here. You are also at risk to, like, 9-pool speedlings, but again, not a common build to go for. And Scan actually goes for a cross scout here. So whenever you see somebody who goes for cross scout, that means they always have one build intended for the far distance position. And then if they're close, because now he knows Hero's either down in the bottom left, which he actually is at, or he'd be up here in the top right. And so usually when I see somebody do a cross scout and they don't find them in that cross position, I tend to assume that they are going to go for some kind of an earlier pressure build. Now we have the SCV finally going to scout over here. It is 2-hatch layer, so nothing too crazy. There are variants where you can get a 3rd hatch up and then go for layer. And so the Marines may come out here and try to put on a little bit of pressure. We do have an Overlord perched up over here by this, I guess, a pond or whatever you want to call it. And that should be able to see these Marines if they actually apply a bit more pressure. Back at home, we've got double racks going down. SCV is continuing to mine gas, and quite a bit of gas. And so we should see that armory. Oh, I'm sorry, the academy, not armory. What am I talking about? I don't know my buildings, guys. Sorry, I only do this for a living. We've got the academy coming down. As these Marines are going to push in a little bit further. Now, this is never intended to kill the Zerg, although I'm getting a little bit worried here for Hero. I think Hero was not prepared. It looks like the Marines might have been able to go by the Overlord here. And so, with really good game sense, Scan just kind of gets to walk in. games like this can look terrible because it's like, how could this ever happen? How could 6 Marines come across the map and do this much damage? But, you know, Scan was pretty smart with how he played this, and he's been really good with how he's moved these Marines. And, I mean, this is really bad for Hero. The Lings are going to come forward. This is eventually going to get cleaned up, but it's absolutely worth it for the Terran to come down and do this kind of damage, delay the mining, and force out a lot more Zerglings. So, nicely done. Back at home, Scan has already remade all the Marines that were lost. We've got, I assume, Stim. Yeah, Stim being produced, and eBay's on the way. And I got to say, it's a pretty good game for Scan here. This is looking very, very nice. We have the Spire about to finish here. And so this is really going to be the moment where we can actually see the Zerg try to fight back and do some actual damage here. So we've got 4 more Raxes coming down now. +1 missile attack is being upgraded. It's probably going to be a quiet game for a little bit here. It's going to be a situation where I do not expect the Terran to be able to get out on the map for a while with all these Zerglings being made. He might try to poke. He does bait out a Stim, and then the Lings do run away. +1 air attack is being upgraded. It seems to be the norm, by the way, now in TVZ. There were games where we didn't see +1 air attack, but especially in the ASL, we just saw a lot of players go for that air attack upgrade. The turrets are done. They're done just in time. There's only one over here. We see a pause was requested. Looks like Scan accepted it. Obviously, we don't get to simulate the pause in the replay, but it did happen. Kind of a scary moment to have the pause come in right when the mutas are about to hit. But so far, so good. I mean, you can see there's not really a lot of damage that has been done here to the Terran. And in fact, what Scan's doing is he's going to stay in the middle of the map. Now, I always found this a little bit weird looking, probably because I don't play Terran and Zerg, so the matchup is somewhat unnatural to me. But the idea is you keep this out. The Zergs have to respect that you're halfway across the map. If the mutas decide to come and attack the base, the Terran can then run down and hit this position over here. At the same time, the Terran has to be careful because if the Zerg gets enough Zerglings and mutas, you can just overrun this. And so we have this dance that's happening here. There's more mutas that have been added in here. I mean, this is what, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 Mutalisks versus almost the same number of Marines. So he's got to be careful, but I see another wave about to merge up. So this is like really, really clean here by Scan. The moment that it looked like the position might have been weak, he comes across with the next wave. If you're wondering, like, why don't you just, you know, move the Marines out one by one, keep in mind that resetting rally points is a nightmare in Brood War. Like, sometimes you can win a game just by getting on top of where their rally is, especially if we get a game that has a lot of macro here. So, Scan continuing to keep a threat on the map. We have double starport here. Now, we have had some games where people go for Valkyries. I don't know if this is going to be one of them. Meanwhile, Hero is going to come into this angle over here onto the side, doing a lot of damage. But again, the Marine group remains strong enough to be a threat. I should have pointed this out earlier. We have a base here in the bottom right. Very nicely done. We don't have the gas taken there just yet. And I got to say, Hero's starting to make this group of Marines not that scary anymore. I mean, we're down to the same number of Marines we had in that rush early on over at this base here now. We've got more mutas being produced, and the Hive Tech is on the way. A couple drones are going to be transferred over here. Again, no extractor yet. Really, the function of the third base is to get that extractor as soon as possible. So Hero just staying back, buying a little bit more time. And, you know, I mean, Terran hasn't really made any progress. We're going to go to Science Vessels. So we do have an armory over here. So I guess there's a possibility of Valkyries. Okay, there we go. It is going to be the Valkyrie play. So the mutas are going to come in here. Now, this is partially to do damage and also probably to figure out what the tech is. Now, he sees the science facility. I don't know if this is intended to be misleading, but he's going to see the armory as well. So this is actually a pretty good scout. So just to be clear, Zerg comes in, sees this. You might be thinking it's double Science Vessel. It's not. It's double Valkyrie. The Mutas did fly over the armory here. And so, yeah, I mean, this is going to be one where if we don't get Lurkers out right away, the Valkyries could just overpower the Mutas, especially when all these were already damaged up here. Pretty good control by Scan. You know, it's funny, this season of ASL, we had a lot of Valkyries made, but a lot of Valkyries lost because I think pros are still not quite that good at controlling them yet. It was really Flash that started when Remastered came out because there were some minor changes to the Valkyrie. You know, I know we talk about this game as never being patched, never being changed, but some things were changed slightly with the Valkyrie, and that's when Flash really started to use them quite a bit. And I mean, I don't know, man. These Mutas probably gonna have to get out of here. Meanwhile, the push is gonna come in. I just don't think Hero's ready. The Lurker is going to be gunned down before it can actually fully go invisible with the Burrow. The Lings are going to come in here as well. The Valkyrie's cleaned up the Mutas just out of range over here, and that's going to be a GG. Let's go back a second here. What happened when the Marines came into attack? Yeah, well done by Scan here. That's funny. I thought I'd pause this right before the fight happened. So, yeah, the Mutas scouted the Valkyries, but they were so damaged. So the two Lurkers actually bugged on top of each other. He tried to move this one down here. That's the one that was killed off before I went back through the replay. And then the Valkyries killed. Yeah, the rest of the Mutas. Beautiful game there by Scan, showing a lot of patience. So thank you so much for watching that replay of Hero versus Scan. I am going to be casting the second game that I found of them where they fought on the ladder. All these games I cast are actually from the ladder. You can use seawall.gg, the website. That uses the Blizzard StarCraft Remastered API to where you can harvest the replays there and learn and improve, or be like me and make YouTube content about it. Again, please subscribe to the channel. Go to tastelessthreads.com where you can check out my merch, and I hope to see you in another video. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.